She said she loved my portfolio, but she don't know I'm leveraged up for sure. Every candle green I start to lose control. I'm addicted to the glow of that after hours roll. Told her don't fall in love with a traitor. I'm emotional with data. I'll pump you up then fade ya, then disappear when it's later. Margin call on my heart. Can't tell if it's real or just a chart. I measure love like I hedge my pain. Every kiss feel like a game. Girl, we just acquainted with the risk. Feeling bullish every time we kiss. She whisper, hold me. I whisper, hold this. I love volatile like them pre-market ticks. Yeah, we just acquainted in the dip. Body swing like the Nasdaq whip. Love so high, I might short my grip, but I can't quit that liquidity. I try to curves like Fibonacci lines. She came to red when she crossed my mind. She my favorite ticker in disguise, but every breakout ended lies. I'm a slave to that green. She addicted to the scene. Late night options on the screen. We both love risking everything. This ain't romance, this is leverage. Margin hearts on the edge of wreckage. We talk profit, but we both been reckless. Every time's got a bullish message. I said I saw when I'm ahead. She said, baby, we ain't dead. Now we up and down instead. Swing trading hearts until we bled. Girl, we just acquainted with the risk. Feeling bullish every time we kiss, yeah. She whisper, hold me. I whisper, hold this. I love volatile like the pre-market ticks. Oh, now we just acquainted in the dip. Body swing like the Nasdaq whip. Love so high, I might short my grip, but I can't quit that liquidity. Every night I fall for that call, but tomorrow I'll be gone before the
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where it's not just a beautiful November the 19th. It happens to be a hump day. It happens to be a very pivotal day for the market, where we are getting VIX expiration this morning, FOMC meeting minutes this afternoon, Nvidia earnings after the market closes today. So to sum all of that up, basically, we're deciding the next major leg in the overall market and a lot of the tech darlings. But to put all that together and realize the fact that we're also rocking the Lucky Buffalo shirt, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one, folks. If you haven't already, throw on your Lucky Buffalo shirt. Throw on your luckiest of all apparel. I don't care if you're already at work. Tell your manager you need a quick break. Go home, get the right attire. If you're already at school, fake being sick, go home, get the right clothes. If you're in the middle of something allegedly very important, please understand it is not as important as you putting on your proper Buffalo shirt. Folks, if you don't do it, and today does not go how we want it to go, it is nothing but your fault. And trust me, you do not want that pressure on your shoulders. You simply do not want that pressure on your shoulders. It's far easier just for all of us as a community to maximize our cumulative luck so we can pull off today, because it's gonna be one for the history books. Folks, I hope you had a great day yesterday. I hope you made a bunch of money. I hope you watched that update video. You know me, I'm on my way, a little bit of a comeback tour. 2 days ago, I lost 3.2K each in all of my Apex accounts. At one point, they were all down 17, so a little bit of a lucky save there, but a loss nonetheless. Yesterday, climbed out of the hole a little bit, 2K. So basically, I'm still down net 1.2 on the week. So hopefully with today, maybe I could find a good opportunity. Maybe we could take advantage of some of the stuff going on. Other than that, I still have some option swing positions, but really, I'm just sitting on my hands today, not doing anything too crazy until we start to get a better idea, a better inkling of how the market is going to react to the three major events of the day. But I want to be clear, the fun does not stop here. Rolling into tomorrow after Nvidia's earnings tonight, we have job numbers and inflation numbers tomorrow, and then on Friday we have manufacturing numbers and it's OPEX. So it's going to be a crazy one. Monday and Tuesday, even though in the market we had low stability, we had higher volatility, we had higher intraday ranges. Really, they were the quote-unquote holding pattern days of the week. Today, tomorrow, and Friday are what I assume is going to be the decisive setting up of the next major leg. And potentially this next major leg might be deciding what we're doing for the remainder of the calendar year. So very, very important to pay attention to this. Very important to really keep in your mind to react. We're not trying to predict. We're trying to wait for the information to come out. We're trying to see how the market really responds to it. And then from there, we're going to be attempting to react with low risk, high reward probabilities. And ideally, we just get on the right side of the next major trend. So folks, I hope you've had a good week thus far. I hope you're relaxed, rested, ready to go. I hope you are caffeinated, ready to smash your head through a brick wall, because today is gonna be a good one. I do appreciate you getting up at the crack of dawn to be here with me already today. It's at 9:07. I don't even know if the farmers are up yet, but heck, we are here early. And let's see what in the world has going on today, right here. Stock futures rise with Nvidia earnings ahead. S&P 500 and Dow try to snap a 4-day losing streak. Yes, the S&P 500 hit an all-time high on Wednesday, October the 29th. Ever since then, it pulled back. Everyone's like, well, that's just a higher low. It's going to pop. And then even this pullback on Friday the 7th, same thing. People are like, oh, it's a higher low. We saved at the 50 EMA. We're going to pop. Unfortunately, between Wednesday the 12th and Thursday the 13th of last week, this proved right here to be a lower high. Lower high, lower high, lower high. We have a succession of lower highs. And then from Wednesday into Thursday, this sell-off of lower highs and lower lows has actually been so bad that this recent low swept all the last three other lows. So from a price structure standpoint, things are questionable. For the longest time, and really I'm ever talking since late April, early May, we've had the easiest pattern in the world of higher highs, higher lows, holding the 50 EMA, the momentum cloud green the entire time. So price always just riding the EMA, structure super easy to play off of. Basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different dips worthwhile to be bought, and you're just riding the overall trend. You can see that this time something is a little bit different, or at least it might be, because now we have two official closes below the 50 EMA. Price structure has changed, and now we're all waiting for the events of today to decide, is this a brutal bearish fake out? Is this a giant bear trap where all the people who said this was going to be unsustainable and this rip is going to collapse, are those people getting trapped, or are they right? Ideally, we're going to start to get the answers to those questions today. I want to make it very, very clear, and I want to set expectations. No one on this planet, including myself, can tell you what's about to happen. They cannot accurately predict. If they are predicting, they're going to be in the realm of 50-50. If you see some sort of video or tweet or Substack update trying to tell you what's going to happen here, yes, they might be right. Also, if you look at the history of making those attempts and making those predictions, they're going to be right 50% of the time. So just because you are right in one singular data sample, that doesn't mean you're generically right or generically wrong. This time, I'm going to be honest with you, it is 50-50, as it always is, because we are waiting for the market to react once again to VIX expiration this morning FOMC meeting minutes this afternoon, Nvidia earnings after market closes, and then from there, vol is not slowing down. We have jobs numbers tomorrow. We have OPEX on Friday. So we are waiting right now in a 3 trading day period, a 72-hour period, where this is what's going to most likely, in my opinion, decide. Is this a fake out breakdown and then we rally into 7,000 for year end? Or are we going to maybe get some sort of dead cat bounce that gets destroyed? Or are we just going to have a borderline feeling? It's not going to actually be it, but it's going to feel like just a cataclysmic sell off from here where we just drop another like 5 to 10%, something like that. That's what the next 3 days are most likely going to be telling us. Now, over the past 2 days, it's been pretty brutal. Up here, these red days, it didn't feel that bad because we're still on the top side of the cloud. Everyone had the 50 EMA. But the past 2 days uniquely have felt pretty bad. And if you've been trying to trade it, hey, I am there with you. But I do want to let you know right now, well, actually, scratch that. I was about to say the 5-minute, 10-minute, and 30-minute are actually green this morning. But in the past, I guess 10 minutes, we broke down. So I was going to try to give the bulls a little bit of sliver of hope here and be like, look it, the 5 is green, the 10 is green, the 30 is green. But it does look like we are cracking to the south side, at least at market open. So, of course, we're pretty much close to these clouds. Like it wouldn't take that much of a bounce for us to get back to where we need to be for it to be neutral. So out of the gate, as we normally do, I think we should just wait around. So that's generically your large picture in terms of other news going on. Senate agrees to pass Epstein files bill approved by House. So that means it's going to Trump. Technically, Trump has already said that he's going to pass it. So the Senate has approved it. The House has approved it. At this point, it's the president approving it, signing it into law, or vetoing it. He's already said that he's going to sign it. So it sounds like we're going to be getting some of these Epstein files. Congress approves Jeffrey Epstein files bill, sending it to Trump to sign. The Senate agreed to pass a bipartisan bill ordering the Department of Justice to release all the files about J. Epstein. I'm not really sure if I can say that word. Rumble has no issue with it, but YouTube gets a little bit weird. The bill will pass the Senate as soon as it is transferred from the House, which approved it nearly unanimously. Literally only one person didn't vote for it. Only Rep. Clay Higgins voted against the bill, which is crazy. The measure now goes to President Donald Trump to sign the bill into law. Trump, a former Epstein friend, has angrily complained about media attention to the files. Yeah, he just called someone piggy, I believe, on Air Force One about the whole thing. And what I don't get about it is I hate the shilling that is going on. At the end of the day, regardless of if you like a person or not, regardless of their political affiliation, when you have this level of a crazy thing going on, obviously sunlight is the best disinfectant. And what I hate about this right now is people are either defending it or not defending it exclusively based on their political affiliation. And we're seeing that recently, not only on the lower levels here in chat, but all the way up to the highest levels of like actual elected politicians. And what always blows my mind when it comes to these types of things, or recently last weekend, let's just use this as an example. Over the weekend, how many memes did you guys see about Bill Clinton and President Trump, former President Bill Clinton and current President Trump? If you were on the internet, you saw these memes and people like leaned into it. And obviously there was a whole hubbubaloo about everything going on. And once again, people either defended it or attacked it based on their political affiliations. And what blows my mind in this situation is just imagine if everything that happened, instead of it saying Trump, what if it just said Biden? The fact that some people are going to react polar opposite just based on who it is, regardless of the actual events, that's what blows my mind. That's what drives me up a wall. If you are reacting in a positive or negative, offensive or defensive way, but you don't think you'd be doing the exact same if all the time you took the Trump name and you just switched it with the Biden name, that blows my mind. And you could apply that to anything. Historically, when Biden was in office, if you took every single thing he did and you reacted in one way, but let's just say in a hypothetical alternate universe, it was Trump, if you would not react in the exact same way, that blows my mind. You are not being logically consistent. You're just being tribalistic, and you're just either defending or attacking based on some form of tribe that you, I guess, ideally identify with, which I just think I think it's low intellect. I think it's tribalism. I think it's stunted logical development, psychosocial development, and I think it's just adding to the polarization of not just the U.S., but we're seeing it on a global scale. I think there's no place for it, and I think the fact that so many people have such a platform, but they continually do that, and you really see it in mainstream media. They try to spin everything to the party that they think they need to support rather than just being objectively true or a best attempt at being objectively true. It's not good. It absolutely is not good. So anyway, that's some of the political drama. We're probably going to be hearing about it today, so I wanted to put that on your radar. But if you're in here, you probably care a little bit more about the economy, a little bit more about the stock market. Nvidia results and delayed jobs data set up critical tests for Wall Street. Releases will provide key signals for investors after a significant market pullback. So obviously the pullback that they are talking about is from this all-time high to where we currently closed yesterday, a drop of 4.4%. Yes, we are 4.4% away from an all-time high. And right now, there is some discussion of how this is like a cataclysmic sell-off. No, we are 4% from an all-time high. Could it get worse? Yes. Could we also bounce here and hit a new all-time high by year-end? Also obviously possible. So even though there are three major things, remember, market open, VIX expiration, 2 p.m. East Coast time this afternoon, FOMC meeting minutes, and then after the market closes, we're hearing from Nvidia. Those are the three big things of today, but I think most people, and myself included, probably care the most about Nvidia. So let's really get going with that. Nvidia, like I said, reports after the market closes. It is an implied move of 6.6%. You might not be able to see it, but right here, shout out to Spot Gamma. As of now, they are reporting after the market closes at 4:20 today. But anyway, 6.6% is the expected move. Based on Nvidia's close yesterday, 6.6% to the upside would bring us to around 194, and then 6.6% to the downside would bring us to roughly 170, 169, something like that. So we are playing in a pretty decent range. Now, obviously, those odds, or not really the odds, but the implied move expectations can update. So it's best to be basing it off the closing value from today. So who knows, we might rally, we might drop, or we might say exactly the same. But I'm just trying to give you an idea of the range. So basically anywhere from 169 to 195 based on yesterday's close. But right now in pre-market, Nvidia is showing a bit of enthusiasm. And we're also seeing that in other markets. Will Nvidia beat quarterly earnings? As of right now, the poly market is giving it an 89% chance. Now, remember, stocks move up or down, not based on beats or not, based on the overall Wall Street expectations. We have many, many examples of companies doing well with their earnings, as in beating top and bottom line, but they drop. And then we have other examples of company missing on their earnings, but the stock pops. Because remember, it's not just did you beat your earnings per share, did you beat your revenue goals? Obviously, you have all this other commentary, and it seems like recently the market's more so been relating to your future-looking guidance. So in this particular one, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of commentary about development of new trips, partnership, what's going on the political scene with China. So there's going to be a lot more layers to how does the stock actually react. I am hopeful for a pump to the upside, but once again, that's just me being hopeful, and I guess we could look at the odds a little bit here, but just wanted to let my thoughts be further known. Now, there are other ways to bet on it. For example, maybe you don't want to play the stock, maybe you don't want to play options, maybe you just want to play what words will they say during the earnings call today. So on call sheet, there's a 99% chance they say gaming, 93% chance they say H20. And you get the idea of just certain words. Like literally, if they utter that word in their earnings, you would be able to either bet on it, or maybe you're like, nope, they're not going to say Taiwan at all. So I don't think that's going to be happening. So you could take the no contract. So anyway, that's all through call sheet. Feel free to check that out. I haven't really played this type of stuff before, but since we are streaming the earnings results tonight, I kind of might. I kind of think it might be fun, might add a little bit of layer to the excitement, to the gambling, to the degeneracy. So like I said, we are streaming Nvidia this afternoon. So probably a little bit in power hour, just so we can see where the market's going to close. Obviously, we're going to get the results at 4:20. They're going to be talking at 5. So this could add some fun to it, but I just wanted to let you know there's going to be no update video today. Instead, we are going to be streaming the Nvidia earnings and obviously the market's reaction to that. Now, just to drive this point home, before then, Yeah, I guess technically we're getting crude oil inventories. Probably no one cares about that. The inflation data, the Eurozone came out this morning, came out in line, pretty much right at expectation. FOMC meeting minutes at 14 o'clock, aka 2 p.m. ET today, 2 hours before the market closes. Then we have Nvidia's earnings, and then that sets us up for a lot of job numbers tomorrow. And then we're getting some manufacturing and services PMI numbers on Friday, which also happens to be OPEX. And even though we're talking a lot about Nvidia, I do want to let you know there were other earnings, Target and Lowe's reported this morning. Yes, Nvidia and Palo Alto are tonight, and then tomorrow you have Walmart and Webull. So I just wanted to put that on everyone's radar. And just in case you're playing it, in case you're paying attention to it, Target cuts profit outlook as shoppers look for deals, make fewer store trips. All right, that's Target, TGT. And then Lowe's beats on quarterly sales, but lowers full year profit forecast amid economic uncertainty. So this is actually a good real-time example of sometimes you can quote unquote beat, but that doesn't necessarily mean your forward-looking guidance is going to be good, and then that it could be what has the adverse impact on the stock. Now, even though this is an individual company, not really earnings, I just thought it was cool to share. Elon Musk's XAI is advanced talks to raise $15 billion, lifting the valuation. Like other AI startups, companies burning cash rapidly as it seeks to improve its flagship Grok chatbot. Now, I thought this was interesting because right now, even through the lens of what's going on with the market, you're going to hear the term AI bubble. We know Nvidia is the golden child stock of this whole AI gold rush. And then from there, whether you're talking upstream products such as ASML, the companies designing it, the machinery, or even these companies that are going to be consuming these chips for the actual AI development, it kind of made me wonder with you guys, for those of you who use AI on a daily basis in one way or another, which one do you use the most? I find myself personally using both, I suppose, ChatGPT and Claude the most, depending on what task I'm doing. I use a lot of Claude for coding stuff. I used to use Julius for data analytics, and it's still good, but for some reason, I've just been using Claude more. When I go to ChatGPT, that's more for like writing stuff. It's more for like basic questions instead of Googling. So I just wanted to post that question to you folks. Which one are you using the most? Like, do you like Grok more? Do you like Gemini the most? Are you using some like off the wall, I don't know, LLM that I've never heard of? Okay, interesting. Grok rules. Grok lately. Grok. ChatGPT, pretty much. Perplexity, interesting. Trade GPT, I haven't heard of that. I'll have to check that out of Gemini because of the integrated into Google. Gemini, Grok, and Chat GPT. Apex down this morning. It was up for me. DeepSeek, Grok. Okay, so surprising that it seems like a lot of you are more so on Grok. Interesting. A little bit of Gemini, decent amount of Chat GPT, a little bit of Perplexity. One person using DeepSeek. Perplexity and their Comet browser. Okay, interesting, the integration across the board. Yeah, I was just curious. I wanted to see where you guys were at. Now, very quickly, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It is 100% free. Comes to your email inbox every single Sunday. I break down what's going on in the market. Cheat sheet for earnings. You get this cool graphic from @eWhispers on Twitter. Obviously, all the major macroeconomic events, and then the seasonality of each individual day. And I do want to let you know, if you're bullish, you're not going to want to hear this. If you're bearish, you're going to want to hear it. The seasonality of today is bearish. So over the past 27 years worth of information, this is what your equity curve would look like if you bought an ES contract at open and sold at close. For a little bit, it was bullish. Then it became bearish. Then there was a bit of a recovery and down. So once again, this is your hypothetical equity curve if you bought an S&P 500 futures contract at open, sold it on close on this individual day over the past 27 years, the better part of 3 decades, you would be a net loser as a bull, i.e. you'd be a net winner as a bear. And then that sets us up for tomorrow, which is a bit neutral. And then Friday is a bit bullish as we are heading into OPEX. Now, is seasonality the end all be all? No, it is not, but it does give you a good idea of supportive tailwinds or maybe opposing headwinds. So I just want to put that on everyone's radar. Whether you use it or you don't, there's good information on seasonality, on the macroeconomic events, and also on earnings when we are in earnings season. And then just more of a narrative breakdown of what's going on in the market. Like I said, this is not, you don't have to pay for this. It is 100% free. So it is in the description of the video, and my mod will also throw that in chat. We have a lot of things to go over, but I do want to let you know that yesterday with all those Cloudflare issues, I myself had a really, really tough time getting into Apex, but I was able to do it this morning. And right now they are still running really what I perceive to be the best deal that they've ever run. So if you are trying to trade with Apex, and here's my accounts right now, I did do a little bit of a scalp trade this morning on all my main accounts, made a quick $200. I bought the fresh ones right here. Actually, my head is blocking it. My apologies. But right here, you can see that I bought 5 fresh evals on these Apex. That's why they don't start with PA. PA stands for performance. And then I have an FFN where I didn't like yesterday. If you noticed for the Orbo trade, I've been doing the 150K account. I was about to get the monthly billing and I didn't want to do it because it feels like that one, the way I was doing it was going to be way too slow of a process. So I want to do the same thing. And then I came up with a better idea, but more on that in a second. Anyway, those are my accounts. My point is the website seemed to be a little bit slow this morning, but right now you can take advantage of what I believe to be the best deal that they've ever run. So the upgrade from eval to performance is $40. If you're using a 50K account, you are getting 80% off. So it's going to be $35 for the account, $45 for the upgrade, $75 all in. Like I said, I believe that is the best deal. So use that code Goonie. But then there's another one, which is running a pretty crazy deal, Funded Futures Network. And once again, both of these, the links are in the description of the video. It's also pinned to the top of chat. And basically, it's the code Goonie is going to work on both. It's the same coupon code. But this one's interesting because it's a slightly different deal. You can buy a 50K account for $150, but if you use the code Goonie, it's 50% off, so only $75. But when you send them your receipt, you have to email them your receipt. They'll give you another code for one for free. So for this one, and there's also no activation fee. So when you look at the math of this one, on Apex, you're in for $75 all the way up to performance. On this one, there's a theoretical chance that you could actually get 2 all the way up for $75. So it's spending the same amount of money, but technically you have a whole nother attempt on this one. So I just want to let you know, I use them both. You saw right here that I have Apex Performance, Apex Eval, and I have my FFN. I did have an additional FFN yesterday, but like I said, I killed that one because of just the billing cycle. And that's a generic reminder to all of you folks to check out your billing cycle, and you don't want to get surprised with a random credit card bill where a whole month has gone by and you're like, what in the world happened? So I like to check mine every weekend just to make sure that I'm not getting any surprise bills. But I just want to let you know, code Goonie is going to work on both of these. Both are running pretty crazy Black Friday deals. Like I said in the description of the video, or just go to the website, and when you're checking out, use that coupon code Goonie, Goonie. It'll work on Apex and it'll work on Funded Futures Network. All right, that brings us to the market where basically, let me get this set up. These are the key levels I see on the day for right now. Just so you know, in pre-market trading, we are currently trading at 6626. So we have some positive gamma above, which remember is sticky price action. It is not bullish or bearish. And we have negative gamma below, which is slippery price action. Once again, not bullish or bearish. Now, I do want to point out the trend that we've been seeing over the past couple trading days where a lot of the options positions are starting to be created in regular trading hours. So the map itself, the gamma map, changes pretty dramatically between 9:30 and 10. So if I don't do it, please someone remind me to come back to this, and we're going to see how it shapes up. But I just want to let you know that we have mean reverting price action above and trend following price action below. And once again, this is for the S&P 500. And then based on all of the current key levels, and right now, just so you know, right where my cursor is, this is where we're currently at. These are the key levels I see for the day. As always, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white line. Those are important psychological levels. Those are important technical levels. And over the past 6 months, we've seen a lot of options being the strike price, the one closest to those extremes. So yes, people are playing basically 6,660. People are playing 6,575. A lot of people have been putting their live contracts right at those extremes. So another important thing to pay attention to. The white zone is the transition zone from a market maker perspective, basically choppy within, bullish above, bearish below, but this can change throughout the day a little bit. And then the final thing on the screen are these yellow horizontal lines, which are basically just the leftover major open interest levels, i.e. where all the big money is at. And when we hit those or don't hit those, don't think bullish or bearish. What you should be thinking is, okay, I want to pay attention to the reaction. Do we break and follow through, or do we fall to the south side, or are we going to get rejected and turn? So you could see yesterday, like for example, We sold to 6,600, which was a key level yesterday, battled it out, swept down to 6,575, another key level, and then we popped all the way back up to 6,600, 6,625. So it's a game of just watching how the market and all market participants and market makers react to key levels. And then if we're not at a key level, you're basically just in no man's land. And I would say that you have to have a bit more patience. So these are the key levels. Feel free to screenshot them. Feel free to use them. If you want them, awesome. If not, completely understand. But with all that being said, Bitcoin currently trading at 91, VIX going a little bit flat. Let's throw up just some of our high flyers on the day because why not? And I'm more than happy to switch these out. But on that particular note, let's zoom in, and I would love to, before things get going today, folks, are you bullish or are you bearish? Let me know in a comment below. Dingity ding ding ding. The world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right. Well, we're going to wait for the opening session to play out. We're going to see what's going on. It looks like right at market open, there was a burst of downside. The Qs are quickly going to the closing value from yesterday. That could act as support, watching that. And the SPY has a little bit more distance to go. Tesla getting clocked. Nvidia getting clocked. So just minute one, which is going to have a lot of volatility, a lot of craziness. Maybe not the best opening, but let's see. Like I said, we're not even 1 minute into the day. We're going to be watching. Hang on, let me drop this. Obviously, we're going to be watching the options flow, but since we're not even a minute into the day, we just don't have the much data right now. Let me switch myself over here. And I do want to point out for my very, I guess, like hawk-eyed viewers, you might have noticed that your boy has a lot of strategies. I have Icarus long and Icarus short. Yeah, I couldn't sleep well. My tummy was upset. I don't know why, but I've been up since 2 a.m. And since I was up, I figured maybe, just maybe, I should be working on some code strategy stuff. And to be honest, haven't back tested it at all. I'm more of a person that let's just let it rip in production. So we're going to see how this goes. But I was inspired by the fact that people have been really enjoying that 10-minute Orbo strategy. And I thought, Matt, that's just the start of it. That is just the start of it. I can make more. I could do better. So that's why we're rocking some strategies. Technically, they're not on yet. I am waiting for a couple particular events throughout the day for me to turn these strategies on. But basically, all these accounts right here that don't have any trades yet, the Apex and the FFN, that's where these strategies are going to be applied. And we're going to see how it's going to be playing out today. I'm actually very, very excited. Hopefully they make some money. There's probably a high odds chance they completely blow out because they are pretty high octane. Well, it's going to be somewhat dependent on how much the market moves today, but should be a fun one. And then obviously beyond those ones that I'm going to apply all this strategy work to, fully automated, just like letting the bots take care of it. I have all my performance accounts where I'm basically going to be applying a different version of Icarus that is not split long and short. So that's what you see going on the screen right now. We don't have the most crazy stuff at the moment. Is my trade copier set up properly? It is. So the trade copier is where it needs to be. My orders are where that needs to be. Over here, that is not quite right, I don't think. All right. Well, just be prepared because there's a good chance at some random point today, you start to hear order filled, order filled, order filled. All right. You know what? Let's get crazy with it. Fuck. I was too late. I was about to enable these, but should I? What's the worst that could happen? It's a fair question, right? Okay, nothing happened. It's always a little nerve-wracking at first to enable it because you don't know if it's going to take a rogue position based on does it think it's in a position type of a deal. But let's see how this gets going today. So I just wanted to show you in real time as of 9:33. These have not traded yet. They're all fresh accounts. So none of that crazy Monday morning quarterbacking or anything. Hello? What? What the fuck happened? What in the world happened there, brother? Somehow it made $500. One, two, like they did all somehow make money. I showed you. I'm just a little bit perplexed. You know what? Sometimes it's just not appropriate to ask questions, you know? Sometimes you just gotta, what in tarnation? It feels like it's going to be one of those days. But remember, I can't miss today. I do have on a Lucky Buffalo shirt, so it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it's going to be. Maybe I should. What in the world was that? Oh, trading is fun. Trading is fun, you know? Sometimes when you see the green, just don't ask questions. Just take it and move on. Just take it and move on. And this is the power of having a lucky shirt. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys, this is the power of having a lucky shirt. We're seeing a little bit of a pump here in price, not so much in options. But look at this. The 5-minute maybe trying to go green here on ES. The 10-minute is trying. We're battling it out. Maybe I should turn off. Let's disable that and let's enable long. All right, so we turned off the short side, just turned on the long side. We've traded once today. Feel free to keep track at home, but we're up basically $100 per account. So let's just, instead of saying it on 6 accounts, because I am trading on 6, let's just really focus in on FFN, and it should be properly copied to all the Apex accounts. But new strategy. Basically, I got a little bit too bored. My Bull Orbo did that, 394. Congrats, Randy. That's sick. Has anyone else made a good chunk since open? I mean, I know we're only $5 into the day, but did anyone else play this market open? Boston Symphony, how did your strategies go? Scott, Allen, how did your strategies go? Sean, how did your... Anyone who's playing some crazy market open strategies, did you already crush it today? Did you put on your lucky shirt? Like, let me know where it's at. Have a discount code for lucky shirts, promo code Goonies pinned in the chat. Dude, we got to get more lucky shirts into this business. We got to get far more lucky shirts. Far more lucky shirts into this game. Ashley's up 400. Nice. Dude, you guys are doing better than me thus far today. I'm basically, like we've been paying attention to over the past 2 days, I'm wondering, are the clouds finally going to go green? In the overnight session, yes, the 10-minute, the 5-minute, and the 30-minute at one point in time did pump green. I'm wondering, can momentum switch back as we are waiting? See right here, 5-minute testing, 10-minute trying to save itself, 30-minute trying to save itself. So we got that little bit of a dippity-doo-dah. Might have been a fake out push to the closing value from yesterday, because right here, the SPY got to the closing value, the Qs got to the closing value. I'm seeing Nvidia take a bit of a pump right here, going from 183 to 185. I see Tesla getting a little bit clocked this morning. Some of the news on Tesla stock is they are applying for, I believe, like full self-driving permits or regulations in the state of Arizona. Maybe something to pay attention to. Google is up the most, and it is a runaway train. Holy shit. What the fuck? I think Google just hit an all-time high. It did. Okay, well, if you're playing Google, congrats to you. Big congrats to you. That was a pretty gnarly trade. That was a very gnarly trade. Congrats. Congrats. That's pretty sick. Here we go. All right, maybe I should switch this one up to this so we can watch it if it happens. And then maybe on these charts over here, I need to put this up. But we are watching like a hawk. So just to clarify, the bot did trade, the pure bot, me not involved. You guys heard it. It was crazy. I don't know what happened, but it made $500. Or $600. That's his bottom 6 accounts. And then all the ones that are up more than $100, all the ones that are up 200. I just did a little bit of scalp trading in pre-market. I was here. I was bored. I probably shouldn't have done it, but hey, made me $200 on 15 accounts. So that's a pretty solid $3,000. So if I wanted to, I could just kind of chill from here. Interesting. I think if I coded it right, if it bounces here, it should go long. I was going to say, if it bounces, I should be good. The question is it going to make money? A little bit of slippage. Huzzah! We're back in business. We're up to $200, 2 trades, $200, 100 each thus far. Icarus short fired once, Icarus long fired once, and thus far we are good for 200 buckaroos. 12 or 6 accounts, that's 1,200 top the 3K we've already made today. So we're at 4-2 on the day. Google is officially my biggest win of my life. Camille. For those of you who don't know Camille, he's been here for a hot minute, grinding it out, making some serious dinero. One of those people who deserves to get a big, big win. Congrats to Camille. Very stoked to hear that it is your officially the biggest win of your life. And my recommendation on that, not that you need my advice because it seems like you're already crushing it, ride the trend. As long as that trend is intact, the trend is your friend. Rip it, rip it, rip it. As long as you could stay in, trail it, put in some break evens because you never know how far like a runaway train can go. But seriously, a massive, massive congrats to you. And you seem like the kind of guy who has a vibe that you already have on your Lucky Buffalo shirt. Folks, I am giving you real-time, verified information that simply putting on your luckiest Buffalo shirt could be the difference from you losing in the market and blowing out to being the next best trader. Like, I'm giving you the data. I'm giving you the empirical evidence. Like, I need someone to try to contradict the fact that just putting on the right shirt could be game-changing, absolute game-changing. I need someone to disagree. I need someone to try to prove how I am wrong on this one. Hey, Matt, is Icarus a program you coded? Yeah, my background's in computer science. My background's in statistics. Technically, I didn't get that degree. My undergrad degree is in computer science. I was getting a master's in statistics. The program got put on pause with Rona, and then my content took off, so I never returned. So I got like halfway done, 3/4 of the way done with my stat masters. But yeah, I code it myself. I'm not just going to use someone else's bullshit code because I'm egotistical enough to think that I'm a better coder and I could do it myself. If this pops, it should trade. Okay, that was a lot of slippage, but it made a lot of money. So the FFN had a lot of slippage. It should have only made $100, but it made $300 because it popped from 2 to 550, and then the other ones were right. So there was a lot of slippage on FFN, but there wasn't slippage on Apex. And I applied those strategies independently, showing you a little bit of a data lag between providers. And in that case, it actually worked for me because it made me more money. So as much as I bitch and complain and bemoan the fact that slippage hurts me, and it can hurt you, it could also help you right there. Instead of making 100, it made 350. And boom, bada bing, bada boom. So thus far, we are 3 for 3 on the day. Icarus is ripping it. Icarus short hit once. Icarus long hit twice. The gains look better than they actually are due to slippage, but hey, winning is winning. What are you coding in? Well, these strategies are specifically in NinjaScript because that's the native language to NinjaTrader. It's basically C#. That's what NinjaScript is. So I don't know, but honestly, you don't even have to know how to code. When I told people to do systematic trading in the past, I would give them a little bit of a pass because I understand that not everyone has my background. Not everyone wants to code. I completely understand that. Now though, you have no excuse. If you want to be a systematic, algorithmic trader, you truly no longer have an excuse. I don't give a fuck about your background. As long as you have an internet connection, you could use any of the major LLMs to develop the code for you. You don't have to write the code. In fact, I don't know the last time, like, of course, like sometimes instead of me going to the ChatGPT or something like that or Claude, it's just faster since I know how to code. But my point is with no actual knowledge of coding, you can create your own unique trading systems and just have ChatGPT, Grok, Claude, Gemini, any of them develop the code for you. So like, if you want to do it, I think that's good. ICT is algo. I think you're just trying to rage bait me, Cap the Great, because we all know that ICT is one of the biggest fucking frauds in this entire industry. He's an absolute scumbag as a human being. He's a horrific trader, and I'm not falling for this. I know that you're just trying to rage bait me. So fucking dumb. ICT is an algo. Yeah, if he might be, but he's a horrible algo. Let's just take the premise of that statement being true. If he is, he's a net losing algo. He's a horrific algo. Can we look at SPX options flow? Most certainly. Slight grind to the upside. We got a nice pop between 935 right here. Someone really jolted the delta to the upside with some 0 DTE call buying. And we're just grinding it up and looking at the Mag 7. No one's touching shit for this Friday. That delta is flat. But for further out expiration, we are seeing some optimism. We're seeing some call buying and some put selling. So for the further out, once again, not expiring this Friday on the Mag 7, which is the combo of these 7 stocks, we are seeing some clear optimism. 10-minute Orbo broke to the upside, pretty evident here at 941. Beautiful follow through. Nvidia's going, Google's going. SPX is coming up to the top of the transition zone. If it can get above and hold above 6650, my next target would be the high from yesterday. There is a gamma level at 6665, I believe. But really, if we get that overshoot target, I'm looking for 6680 as my next major target. But once again, that's a big if. We are looking at the 10-minute, breaking out of the transition zone, breaking the 10-minute 50 MA, breaking a psychological level. So this is just a test. I don't know who's going to win the test, but I'm just telling you, watch for this reaction. So basically, 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hours still bearish. 5 minutes bullish, 10 minutes bullish, 30 minutes bullish, 4 hours still bearish. So all the shorter time frames are looking pretty good. But roughly the intraday high that you're seeing on the... well, that worked. All right, 375 in account. We're raking in the money. This is the beauty of systematic trading. Sometimes you could just be bullshitting with people on the internet, not paying attention. And if you have good code, if you have a good strategy, you can still make some money. So the FFN account is up 645. And then the fresh Apexes, which once again, if you don't believe me, go back to the start of the stream. They all started out at 50K, 375 across 5. That's about $1,600. Add another 600 in. So that's about 2.2. And I've already made 3K. So we're up about 5K on the day, and most of it was just me fucking off. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's not necessarily coding or statistics or data analytics. It's more so of fucking off is like kind of where I work. But I need to stress this: as much as you might have good code, as much as you might have a very strong understanding of the market and of analysis, that will get you a certain distance. But what's going to bring you to the next level of the very green, bullish, like profitable utopia? You need to get yourself a lucky shirt. You need to get that's it. You need that is the major thing. Yes, you can get 10% of the way of where you need to get going by just knowing what you're doing. But the other distance, it's gonna be just get your luckiest buffalo shirt. I'm telling you, folks. You just got to get the luckiest buffalo shirt you can possibly get. Oh, the question is, do I want to take this trade? Well, that was a horrible fill. I should have been in at 41. That one went way too fast. Oh, part of me almost wants to move the stop to break even right now just because of how much I hate this fill. I'm going to do it. It was too bad of a fill. If it runs, it runs, but it's probably going to knock me out. I'm literally off by 10 points of where I should have been. Even that, look at that slippage. That hit me. You saw me put the stop at break even, and it gave me a 5-point adverse fill. Yeah, no. I tried to manually get in, and this bar just went way too much. It just moved way too fast, way too quickly. So I like the trade. I wouldn't mind being in at 41, 42, being protected by 50. If we bounce from here, if we take out 60, I'd be moving my stop up to 48. Once again, protected by 50, targeting 800. Don't mind that trade at all. I just didn't like it. I could have stuck through it. Obviously, I'm trading with trend. A lot of things were going my way. And unfortunately, 54, it got as low as 48. It gave me a horrible fill on the entry, horrible fill on the exit. Sometimes that shit happens. Every account's still green and the party is not over yet. I was just trying to be a little bit more aggressive with that risk management because I didn't get anywhere close. It's one thing if I was within 3 points of where I should have been in, but the fact that it was off by, I should have been in at 42. I got to fill at 54. I was off by 12 points. That's just not what I should be fucking around with. Did these trade in that? No, they didn't. I'm surprised it didn't take this trade here at 947. This is the sad thing about this trade is it's probably going to work. I was targeting 800. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Son of a bitch. Vago. Oh, a Vago. All right, throwing in an order there. Damn, I could have held that this whole time. Well, maybe would it be knocking me out? This was my fill. Might be knocking me out right now. Yeah, it would have just knocked me out. Even if I withstood that red pull on this push to 80, I would have moved that stop to break even. So I would have been knocked out for break even. Yeah, so even though it happened in a roundabout way, it was what it was. It was meant to be. Right, those are trading again. Dude, what is with these fills? It's another one that's off by 10 points. That's crazy, man. Wow. What the fuck? Okay, well, I guess it's just going to be one of those days. That's my second one where I was just trying to get it right as it was going. And like, okay, I guess doing these market orders doesn't seem smart. It feels like I need to be putting in these limit orders. The fact that that's now happened twice today is kind of telling. Hang on, I'm taking a screenshot for the Discord. Where are you guys at? Discord, swingers. Right. 63. It's going to 90. It almost took out 90. All right. I'm not going to break even, but I'm going to this weird random swing low. So I'm only taking on 5 points of risk. I'm a little bit worried about this rejection at 800, but I'm just trying to get $1,000 return. So I'm more so playing the accounts than the actual levels. So because of that, we're moving the stop to break even again. And I'm just praying that there's not a rejection here at 800. Fuck. If I need to, I'll manually close this out. Dude, am I overstaying my welcome here? I knew there would be an issue at 800. Let's check out Bookmap. It just took out all these players here at 800. And then the next step is 810. Come on. Take it out. Take it out. I can meet myself in the middle. All right, I'm going to do that. I know I should be taking it off at 800, but just in case there's that pump, I'm moving my stop up to that swing anyway. So no matter what, I'm making 20 points. So I'll be at 500 on the day. And if this hits, I could just be done. Bada bing, bada boom. Call them out in real time. You saw it all in real time. Who does it like this? We're manually trading a system Icarus. We're systematically trading a system Icarus. $1,000 on all my big accounts, as in they have big buffer. So I just made 15K there. That means in terms of my loss on Monday, I lost 3.2. On Tuesday, I made 2K back. I right there just made 1,000. So this week, I'm basically back to break even. So I took a pretty gnarly hit on Monday, but I officially have myself out of the hole, or almost officially. And then obviously this other stuff, this is just fully automated, and they're just ripping 754, 444. So thus far, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty freaking good. And in terms of key levels, we got that. Like I said, my next stop is the high from yesterday. The options flow is looking long and strong on both the S&P 500 and on the Mag 7. Looking at momentum, bullish, bullish, bullish. 4 hour is not. Bullish, bullish, bullish. 4 hour is not. At this point, folks, if you are trading things like Apex or Funded Futures Network, if you're doing sim to funded trading, your life is going to, I promise you, and I could show you the math of it, but I promise you, your life is going to be easier if you trade with trend. So that really comes up to you, and how good are you at defining trend? Well, no matter how you splice it right now, options flow is up. Options flow is up. Intraday price action is up. Intraday price action is up. We took out the recent highs. Momentum, we're above the SPX 50 EMA. Momentum, bullish, 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 bullish. If you're trying to fade this, I guess I don't hate it if you're just doing it at a key level and you're saying, no, I'm looking for the rejection off of yesterday's high. Yeah, you could do that, but just do it with tight risk. If you're like, nope, I think there's going to be at least a little bit of a pullback, that's fine. I understand the stats of looking at extreme highs and extreme lows and saying, okay, I'm just going for a little bit. Or you could be a little bit more reasonable about it, at least in my opinion, especially if you're doing these prop accounts. You could wait for that pullback, wait for the higher low, and then just attempt to ride the trend. Great call. I made a few hundred on that. Thanks, Tom G. Dude, that's all you. Massive congrats. Who else is crushing it this morning? I mean, this is quite the pump. So anyone that slapped on along this morning, you are looking pretty freaking good. Google's looking great. Nvidia's looking great. Broadcom's looking great. Fuck. I mean, I just threw on a Broadcom position this morning. I already put this in the Discord. I literally put this on at 950. I'm already up 3.9K. That was, ask anyone in the Discord. That was called out at 950. I've been in this play for 6 minutes. In 6 minutes, I've made an additional 4K on top of the 20K, I think, that I've already made here. Maybe 17K. I don't know. Someone will have to do that math for me. Sometimes the numbers get too big, and that's not really what I'm $500 off of one micro. Joseph running great, up 4K. I'm done for the day. That's locked in 700. You folks are crushing it. Massive congrats, massive congrats. And remember, if this is your cup of tea and you want to join the party right now, Apex is running a crazy deal, 80% off, only a $40 upgrade fee. So you could be all in for $75. And then for the same cost on Funded Futures Network for $75, slightly different rules. I want to be transparent about that. They're not the exact same, but for $75, you could be all in for 2 accounts. So I use both. Just to show it to you right here. Here's my approved Apexes. Here are my eval Apexes, and here's my Funded Futures Network. So I just like to mix and match. Basically, I like to take advantage of whatever the current best deal is. If I held that position, I would have had no smoke because it ripped right here. I got out at this point. Right here is exactly where I got out. I could have just kept that stop. Honestly, on this pump, I could have moved it to 810. I could have ridden this up to 44. I would have been sweating down to 27, pumped to 50. I could have been up 2K per account. Instead of 15K, I could have been up 30K. Damn. The rug is about to be pulled hard. What are you basing that off of? I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but my question is, why are you trying to predict it? I don't think the common retail trader, the average retail trader, understands the game of prediction, of predicting highs, predicting lows, predicting trends. It is silly. Folks, you can make this so simple. Just say, what is the current trend? Can I get in on low risk and try to ride the current trend? SPX or Q's already broke out. SPY, SPX about to break out. Avago going, Nvidia going. Avago's up the most, Google's up the most, followed by Avago, followed by Nvidia. Wow, we are going. Actually, I have some other accounts I should be checking. But my point is don't predict. If you're predicting whatever, you're going to be right half the time, wrong half the time. But what matters is you actually trading, identify the trend and take on reasonable risk. If you identify the trend, but you can't take on reasonable risk, don't take the trade. If you can take on reasonable risk, but it's not with the trend, don't take the trade. All you have to do is wait for that nice alignment. Wait for that beautiful alignment of trend across however you want to define it. If you're using EMAs, SMAs, Bollinger Bands, RSI, MACD, I don't give a fuck how you define it, but stick to your own definition of trend. Identify the trend, wait for a short-term pullback to minimize your risk, get in on the short-term pullback, use the recent swing as your risk. As soon as it goes in your favor, stop to break even. Maybe you scalp it out, maybe you have a runner, maybe you mix the strategy. I don't give a fuck, but like at least you're doing something systematic. At least you're doing something that is measurable that you can ideally approve upon. I find too many people are just doing nothing. They're just like fucking shooting from the hip. Haven message retracted. Well, that's kind of a bitch move. Like, at least stick to your words, man. Like, you don't have to hide it from the rest of us, dude. Just because I pointed it out, like the rug's about to get pulled. I asked you why the rug's about to get pulled. Maybe that's a learning opportunity for you, for me, for the entire community. Folks, we're in this together to try to figure out the puzzle that is the market. But when you say something, and if someone like kind of offers a slightly different opinion, if you like instantaneously bitch out and delete your message, like, come on, at least stand by your words. Like, like, come on, dude. Like, what? Like, no one's going to be like mad at you. We're just trying to have a discussion about it. We're trying to like see where maybe our opinions overlap, where they do, where they don't. Redacted like the Epstein files. Yeah, he just Epstein filed us. Dude, that was a runaway train. How are my overall positions looking? They should be looking somewhat decent. Not as much as you think. What the fuck? No, this math can't be right. What's the VIX at? The VIX is at 22. VIX is starting to plummet. Why? Is it just because there's no way they're marking this right? What the fuck? VIX? That doesn't, no, this math isn't right. There's no way that math is right. I don't buy it. I don't buy it for a second. All right, we are looking, if the VIX collapse and people are selling puts, that's where you get what's referred to as a Vanna rally. I am seeing some put selling, but not the most extreme. But do you guys need a reminder of what the Vanna rally is? Yes or no? Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you need a quick refresher of what a Vanna rally is? VANNA. Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Who needs a quick refresher as we are now getting into a new hour? Yes, no. Are you guys experts? Do we have some new people who just need a quick 3-minute explanation? Short the VIX. I'm attempting to short the VIX, and it is not paying, brother. At least not yet, but maybe today it will be. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Vanna rally. Once again, the word is VANNA. Vanna rally. If you want to fact check me on it, Google it, ChatGPT it, ask your grandma. I don't give a shit. Here's what a Vanna rally is. In events, when the market drops, there are some times when people buy puts. They go long puts. That would be shown as the blue lines, which are puts dropping, because that is people going long puts. Remember what happens when people go long puts. Well, there are many things. It could be a self-fulfilling prophecy because it's dropping delta. As traders buy puts, you are increasing negative delta. The people who sell you the puts, i.e. the market makers, because options are a single dealer market, they protect themselves. They hedge out all of that put selling by shorting the underlying. Now, they could do it in the futures market. They could do it directly on the underlying. But the point is that as you are going long puts, the market makers who sell you those puts, they protect themselves by shorting the underlying. That's why I said it could become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And a lot of the times as that happens, that's why it's associated with the VIX spiking. So that's kind of like the foundation you need. But then ask yourself, what happens when the VIX drops? Well, Can you guys see this? All right, cool. How do I draw? How do I paint? This is actually going to be pretty important. Everyone should listen up. We're going to do this. Okay, so let's say, obviously, this is upward in price, this is downward in price, and this is our just time scale. And then Price goes like down, it goes up, it goes really down, it starts to go up. So when price is going down right here, you have VIX spiking. As the VIX spikes, market makers have to protect themselves because with what VIX is, VIX, that is really the volatility of the 30-day out S&P 500 contract. As VIX is spiking, there's a larger net. Let's say the VIX is extremely high. The potential chance of price is this whole zone. But as price starts to recover, VIX drops. So when VIX drops, instead of market makers having to protect this entire zone of potential price movement, well, now maybe it's smaller. And then let's say the VIX really drops. Well, okay, maybe it's now really small. So it's really the parachute, the probability cone of where we could go. As the VIX is high, the cone is big. As the VIX is low, it's really small. And why that cone of the potential price outcome is big is because as we are going down, people are going into puts, which means all those puts being purchased, the market makers have to protect themselves not only more because of the amount of puts being purchased, but also they have to protect themselves for a larger distance. So that means they short more and more of the underlying. However, when that is unwound, VIX starts to calm down. Well, that cone of probabilities collapses. So that in itself means that they don't have to protect themselves as much, so they buy back some of the shorts. But however, as the VIX also starts to go up, most of the time that's going to be correlated with price also going up, which means just the delta of the puts is not as much. So on like a two-tier front, kind of like when Germany was doing a two-tier battle, they got destroyed from both sides. So not only is your VIX collapsing so that cone of protection is less, so they're not going to be as short, but also price is most likely going up because the VIX is dropping, so you don't have to just generically, there's not as many puts. And then this can lead into a third situation where because it's going against puts, people are literally just, instead of being long puts, they're selling those puts. So you have this three-tier thing, a three-prong approach where people are getting out of their puts, the VIX is going up, and on top of that, you're just getting that opposite way movement. So really what this causes it to do is people who are in all those puts, as they see the VIX going up, vol's calming down, they're getting out of their puts. That basically means at a very extreme rate that the market makers are buying back all those shorts, and then it gets this upward movement. And obviously we're looking at a little bit right now in a short time period because people were inputs, and you see this on an intraday period, but it can be bigger than that. Actually, let me show you one of the most interesting times. August, right here. August of 24. This dump was because of concern over the yen carry trade blowing up. People got into puts, they wrote it down, and then all of a sudden we got some news coming out. People started to take their profits, vol started to calm down, and boom, from August 5th basically to the 19th, there was a nonstop rally of roughly 8.9%. So this, like, it happens, and this is like an extreme example of it. Obviously, you can see shorter term examples, but I do want to remind you, we're talking about it right here in August of 24. And like I said, August of 24, where the fuck was that? Right here. Okay, so this is what people were freaking out about, is the U.S. yen carry trade blowing up. And then obviously the USD JPY pairing plummeting. There's all this news. Everyone's talking about it. It's like a freak out. And then things calm down. And even though we calmed down in the currency, you saw what happened in the market. What's interesting about this time is, I know myself included, we're talking about Nvidia, we're talking about FOMC, we're talking about this, that, the other thing, trade deals, government reopening. Well, what's crazy about it is look at the opposite. You actually have the USD JPY pairing going the complete opposite way now. So just kind of calling that out. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's necessarily the end all be all. I'm just drawing an additional correlation. But overall, what I'm like, if the USD JPY part is confusing you, don't worry about it. I'm trying to explain just the last time we had well, that's weird. How did it get in, go above price, but then not get a fill on one of them? So FFN is clearly the slowest, which before helped me because the slippage went in my favor. This time it's hurting me because by the time it actually put in the fill, the price had already pulled back from that moment. Well, that's bullshit. So I'm showing you one example of the slippage helping me. I showed you that earlier. This time, the slippage is actually uniquely hurting me. Even though, like, literally the exact same code, the exact same strategy on these other accounts got the fill. See right here, went long, got the breakout. And then on this one, I guess it just didn't have in the order in time. And right now it's suffering a 20-point pullback. So that happens. But anyway, if the USD JPY part is confusing you, what you need to know about a Vanna rally is it is produced when a bunch of people get into puts, all of a sudden price stops plummeting, it bases, starts to curl up, people don't want their puts anymore, vol starts to collapse, and it forces, for various reasons, the market makers to get out of the shorts that they created to produce, like to protect their book when we were going down. But when they get out of all those shorts, it becomes very quickly a positive feedback loop, and it just drives you higher and higher and higher. And once again, we don't need to say that. That's a Vanna rally, and in a certain sense, you're kind of seeing that. I mean, look at this. It's just people ripping it like no other. Did it actually get the fill? No, but these other ones are now trading. So these ones now have taken an additional second trade and locked it in, while that first one with the slippage is still just holding on for dear life. And like I said, it's the exact same strategy. We're just applying it to different accounts, different data streams. That is bullshit, dude. If these accounts blow out because of that, I'm going to be so incredibly pissed off. Like, I'm showing it to you guys. You guys have been hearing it. You guys have been seeing it. What the fuck, dude? Literally the exact same code. Wow. Bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. It's not really bullshit. It's just a bad beat because of fucking the code. It must have flicked it way too fast, so it didn't lock it in. That's horseshit. It literally just didn't have the order, I suppose, in time, and yet on the other accounts it did. But I want to be clear, as much as it sounds like I bitch and moan, I showed you an example today where that same mechanism benefited me because by the time it got in the order, it was in excess of what I wanted. So I got even more of a profit. It does cut both ways. But as I've also tried to explain to you folks mathematically, a win is way different than a loss. And I might be getting lucky here anyway. Matt, I'm telling you, there's something up with the data. Folks, there's something up with all this data. It's the industry. They don't want you to win. Like, that's the one thing I really don't like about the prop firm industry, and I love the prop firm industry. The one thing I don't like is they're all trying to act like they are your buddy. That is as fucking crazy as you walking into a casino and MGM and Wynn and the Aria. They're like, we would love for you to win. We would love for you to take our money. The one thing that's like the major thing I don't like about prop trading is they're trying to act like you're a friend. They are not your friend. You're trying to take their money. They're trying to take your money. If you're a good enough trader, you might win. There's a very good chance most people are not a good enough trader and they don't win and they take your money. That's all it is. That's the one thing I really don't like about the prop industry is the act of being your buddy. Like imagine if you're at a casino and the pit boss or something's like, yeah, like we would love for you to, oh, sorry, you lost some money. Oh, we'll refund that. Oh, you're not having the best day on slots. Don't worry about it. Like, no, shut the fuck up. Shut up. I'm trying to take your money. You're trying to take my money. Let's be honest about it. You know, like let's just be honest about it. Same reason they give you a free hotel rooms, $400 room for free to gain 10K from you on the roulette table. Exactly. LOL, casinos literally do the same thing. But my point is that we all see through it. That's I guess I'm saying it poorly, but that's what I'm attempting to say is we all see through it in that industry of like, we get it. You're just trying to take our money. All this other shit, like this idea of like, oh, those rules aren't necessarily in your favor. Yeah, no shit. The rules in casinos aren't necessarily in your favor either because they're running a business. They're trying to be net profitable and you're trying to see if you can like take them over one, you know, like it is what it is. And I think people should just be a bit more honest about it. That's like my one big gripe. Vegas bartender, I could write a book, dude, I am sure. At least in casinos, we get comps. Dude, you get comps here.
Order submitted.
Look at 80% off. Come join our casino. $40 upgrade. Look at BOGO. They give you comps. It's a thing. It's What the fuck happened there?
Target filled.
I don't know what happened there, but your boy is rolling in it officially. I don't even know how many trades that is now. Well, these all traded in extra time. They're up 850 each, and then the one that had a bit of slippage is up an additional one, even though it traded one less, up 1,000. So I did one break-even trade here on the PAs, and then one nice winning trade that obviously made me 50 points. I made $1,000 trading one contract. These other ones have traded multiple times, and I'm using the same Icarus. Just one's fully automated. The other one, I'm like trying to not trade as much because I have a lot more buffer. And honestly, I just care more about the accounts, but we're just letting it ride. This is the power of actual statistics, like actual trading rather than just random fucking guessing. And I just want to be clear. I don't think systematic algorithmic trading is not going to be for everyone. I don't think it should be forced upon you, but I'm just letting you know from my personal story, the only time I've really had longer sustained success in the world of trading is when I do it systematically, algorithmically. I do it like a machine. I don't think my brain necessarily has the psychological makeup to be as disciplined as I need to be as a manual trader to have success. And I'm even saying trading the system, just doing it manually, I just, those days where you could be good for 100 days, but if you just fuck up one time, you could lose everything. And I found, just for me personally, and maybe this resonates with you, maybe this doesn't, that just putting the machine in the middle where like, okay, like I feel as if I know how to trade. I know exactly what I want to do, but I'm going to have the machine do it for me. That's where I feel better. That's where I feel absolutely way, way better. S&P 500, we are ripping. Puts are being sold. Calls are being bought, adding to the potential of the Vanna rally. Lots of calls are being bought on the Mag 7. Quite a bit of enthusiasm right here. Avago ripping. Nvidia ripping. Tesla's even waking up. Palantir's waking up. Microsoft's waking up. Apple's waking up. Meta's is even fucking catching a bid. AMD's catching a bid. Google's up the most right now. I mean, but you could see these major tech names, prices looking just like this. Would I chase it right here? No, I would wait for the pullback and then hope that the trend continues. But that is moving and grooving. What a good fucking day. I need someone to prove to me wrong that the only difference today, like it is clearly just, do you have on a Lucky Buffalo shirt? Think about it. Think about the last time that I wore my Lucky Buffalo shirt. It was over here, the end of October. The last time your boy, your favorite live streamer, wore the Lucky Buffalo shirt was here. Look at what the market happened. You know what happens from there? I go on vacation. I don't wear my Lucky Buffalo shirt. Market gets fucked. Guess what happens? Day one, I put my Lucky Buffalo shirt back on. We fucking rock it. So, someone disprove that. Some nerdy ass mathematician in here, explain to me how that is how is that possible? Was it when you got married? I got married in October of last year, brother. I've been now married for actually 13 months. Matt, get your shit together. I'm not going to get lectured by a moose. You think I've done what I can in this life to get lectured by an actual fucking moose? Meta carries the market. Well, not really, but sure. Is your duck shirt more powerful? No. My Buffalo shirt, based on the current shirts I own, my Buffalo shirt is by far the most powerful. The duck shirt has some powers to it. Unfortunately, it got pretty muddied up with the whole AMC community. So it has like a devolving amount of power. The one thing, though, that I am considering, this is it's kind of really getting into the world of dark arts of trading, though. Like I know sometimes you guys come here and you enjoy emoji trading, and I warn you, obviously, that just be careful about the powers of emoji trading, which I think is a very good warning. There is one trading methodology I know that kind of exceeds all of it. And even though I've been trading for 10 years now, even though we've been doing content for 5, there is one branch that exceeds the dark arts level of trading that I just quite haven't gotten myself to do, but it might be time to break it out. Emoji trading, it's not for everyone. Pretty dangerous. Wield the power accordingly. Buffalo shirts, obviously very powerful. As I showed you, you have to wield those powers accordingly. But sometimes when you are so imbued with this amount of power, sometimes your physical
Order
stature
submitted.
cannot take it, and you have to be careful.
Target filled.
Dude, fucking ripping it. We are ripping it today. There is one thing that I just quite haven't been able to do it myself. And maybe next year. Maybe next year. Maybe the year 2026 is the year your boy finally. Dude, we're going to 25,000 flat. Right now, we're so close. I mean, that's a fucking easy play. If you can get in on minimal risk here and play this up to 25,000. Anyway, there is a chance. I've talked about it with my team. We're considering getting into the world of potentially starting to fuck with the dark arts of wearing a cheetah shirt. The large cat that, in fact, cannot purr. It is the only large cat that does not purr, which is just a weird little fun fact I know about cheetahs. But it's dangerous. Just because I'm saying it right now, if you just try to do it today, it could end very, very poorly for you. Like, it's one of those things, you know, when you watch a lot of shows, they're like, do not recreate this at home. It's for like trained professionals. That it's to the point that I haven't done it yet. Very concerned. But maybe sometimes fortune favors the bold. Better be careful with the cheetah. I know there's going to be some trader in here today that tries to pull it off. Like, you're going to try to do the cheetah thing. And it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous. Please heed my warning. This is not something you just want to rip willy-nilly. It is not something you want to rip willy-nilly. Oh, the question is, do I want to take the breakout trade at 960? How have we not had a pullback today? That's the real question. We've been a runaway train. Bullish. We ripped to 80. Surprise, surprise, we're getting stalled out here. No, I'm being facetious. Not a surprise at all. It's because this is a key level. I wouldn't mind a pullback to 75, a bounce off of that, and then that gives us a real shot at 6,700, which would roughly align actually with the NQ exceeding 25,000 flat. Another strategy you could employ at this point, just because you're waiting for that little bit of a pullback, once again, the name of the game is to always minimize your risk. A little bit of a trend line breakout right here. Not the worst play I've ever seen. Obviously, you have to be accepting of risk down to 36, which it's already popped. Obviously, you had a nice fill there at maybe 53. So you had about 15-ish points of risk. Not so bad. At this point, the fact that we broke that high, I'd be moving my stop to break even. But my point is we had lower highs, lower lows, little bit of a pullback, saved itself at the 50 EMA after the second test. Obviously, my target would be 25,000. And at this point, it's a free ride. Your stop would be at break even. Matt tried the cheetah strategy, blew out 18 counts. Probably more than that when I've tried it. It's just I didn't have the physical strength to do what was incumbent of me. AI says cheetahs can purr. Well, AI, or maybe you're just talking about your friend named Al, is a lying sack of shit. An absolute lying sack of shit. Actually, I think you're right. I think they can't roar. I think AI is right. I take it back. I misspoke. I'm sorry. I'm such a fuck up. I was supposed to have potential. They can't roar. They only purr. They can't retract their claws either, which is interesting. Like, their claws are just like always out. Fuck. This is why I can't wear a cheetah shirt. I just don't have my facts straight. I'm a fuck up. I gave you guys the warning. If you're coming to me for some crazy stats and facts about cheetahs, when I told you that it's the dangerous thing to do, like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? I'm pretty sure it's that they can't roar, but I guess they can purr. Maybe they only purr. They also squeak. If you say so. Do I want to try to get this up to 2K today, or do I just want to take my money and go? Well, might not matter anyway. Yeah, we're having most likely a bit of profit taking going in here. Let's go on the 1 minute. I would say this is healthy. This was a runaway train from 6618 to 6688. We ran 70 points. So to have a little bit of a pullback, a 10-point pullback, I think that's completely fine. This doesn't change my opinion on the trend. For us to start worrying about the trend, I would want to say we close below the high from yesterday. Like if we don't have success in this area. If anything, if you miss the train, this might be that opportunity that gives you a dip buy. So just trying to wait to see if we can find a low risk opportunity to really take advantage of this. Oh, brother. Matt was wrong. Is this real life? Chaz, fuck you. On the day of my daughter's wedding, this is how you treat me? Calling me wrong? On all days, you use the day of my daughter's wedding. Your fantasy team is struggling with the Buffalo shirt on Sunday. Moose? I had it to fucking up here with you. Calling me out. Yeah, my fucking fantasy team sucks this year. And the sad thing is I have 4 fantasy teams and they all suck this year. Dude, my fantasy teams are getting their fucking teeth kicked in this year. It's so, statistically, it's impressive how bad my teams are. How is the FOMC meeting minutes? I don't know. I don't live in the future and they don't come out until 2 p.m. I have no fucking clue. I have no clue. That was a tough entry if you took it. It was acceptable. You could have gone along at 54, risking 42. So I don't mind the 10 points of risk and it's with trend, but the structural setup is not my favorite necessarily. Not necessarily my favorite. S&P 500, not going down, but it's going flat. Mag 7, not going down, but it's kind of flattened out since the turn of the hour. Interesting play setup is this downsloping trend line break. Obviously, we're taking a little bit of a breather. Maybe we could double, triple, whatever bottom right here at 99.30 is kind of what I'm watching. I see a low. Really, the trend line break makes a pretty nice step up to 25,000 if it happens. I wouldn't be trying to fade it because you're fighting the overall trend. I would say just wait for the trend to align. Apex still doesn't work. It worked for me this morning. Maybe they're still having issues, but I think they put in their Discord this morning that it is working. Is it working for anyone else? I also hate how the fucking EMA is now choppy. It was nicer. See how the EMA, sometimes it spreads apart and it has really nice flows. And then there's other times where you get all choppy and consolidated and has no fucking clue what it wants to do. It's not working right now. Well, if you're trying to quickly pass an account, I'm sorry. I'm just waiting for it. It's that Cloudflare issue. So maybe it's regionally dependent. Like I said, I was able to get some this morning. So try that code Goonie. But remember, Funded Futures Network, it's not the exact same set of rules, but it's still a very good offer. And the rules are pretty comparable. It is a little bit different. You can't pass in one day. It takes 3 days to pass. But in terms of value, you can get 2 accounts full stop from eval to performance, 2 accounts for 75. Same thing, code Goonie on both. So if you're really feeling that itch to trade today, you could check out Apex. Maybe you'll get lucky with the website. You could check out Funded Futures. You could check out TPT. Those are the 3 that I use, and the code Goonie is going to work on any of them. What was that? My Apex keeps timing out.
Target filled.
What? Well, we made more money. Wow. Actually, the fully automated code is now outpacing my manual execution of the same code. Because I kind of stop it right here. We're at 1,200. Actually, I need to turn that off. Shit. Once again, because of the 40% consistency, I need to turn that off. Actually, I need to lose a little bit on this account. I need to get it under 1,200. That's not so good. I didn't want this to exceed 1,200, and we're at 1,245.
Order filled.
All right, we took off $10.
Order filled.
Oh, 1,200. Dude, Buffalo shirt for the win. Who else can do it? I told you the number. I manifested it. I put it out there into the universe. Boom. 1,200 on the fucking nose, brother. On the nose. Who does that? No one. No one's got the buffalo shirt collection I do. They just don't. The feminists suck, just saying. I don't know what that has to do with it, but feels like you have some issues you might need to work out. All right, so that account's done just because of their 40% consistency. So I turned that one off. And then obviously the apexes you can pass in one day. So I'm going to let the ones that don't start with PA, just apex. I'm going to let them run, but they're about 1/3 of the way there. You should use Claude Code to write you a script for Apex with you explaining in detail your strat. I wonder how much or more or less effective it would be. It'd probably sound a little bit too boring, a little bit like robotic. It doesn't make self-deprecating jokes. It doesn't talk about like wanting to take a bath with a toaster. And honestly, you think I'm going to let fucking AI know my strategy? You think I'm going to share my secrets with some non-human clanker? You think I'm going to let a wireback know how to trade? A fucking wireback? Nah. I don't trust clankers. I trust them as far as I can throw them. Matt is making all of his money just to lose it this weekend on sports gambling. Dude, my recent bet was really good. I bet on Islam in the UFC match. I took my entire account on Saturday and I bet it on Islam. Actually, can you see my history? How do you do that? I just want to prove it to you.
Order submitted.
Hello? Mom?
Target filled.
Dude, this is too easy. Do you guys ever feel like trading is too easy? Like honestly, like just like deep in your core, do you ever just wonder like, I wish I could play this on hard mode? Like sometimes I just wonder, is it too fucking easy? Like I really wonder about that. Michael Burry said, Scion Asset Management is not closing as it is my vehicle for running other investment ventures too. It is no longer an RIA. It no longer runs a fund for outside investors. So is it becoming like a family fund or something? My bot's better than me. Dude, all my bots are better than I am at manually trading. I'll be the first to admit it. I just don't necessarily have the discipline. I could do well manually trading here and there, but like when you're doing it, you can never fuck up. And like, I just don't have that discipline to be perfect every single day in every single condition, while bots can be, because they're bots and they don't have to deal with emotions and psychology and lack of sleep and being hungover and poor diets, good diets, traveling, just not paying attention. Didn't you play on hard mode on Monday? All right, Steven. A little too soon, brother. A little too soon. LOL, I thought he was going to say he bet on Islam versus Christianity with what's going on in Michigan. Knowles, do you want to know something fucking crazy about that? So I was watching Stranger Things last night, getting ready for, what was it? It's in Dearborn? Dearborn? Is this how you spell it? Oh, I didn't spell it right. I should probably. I want to show you guys what's going on. Is this it? Is this it? There's that. There's a crazy video, or maybe there's multiple crazy videos. But I need you guys to understand my my shock last night. So I'm finishing up. Not this one. Not that one. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. The J6 MAGA domestic terrorist Jake Lang was punched in the face today while leading a racist march in Dearborn, Michigan. So as you can see, he is leading a march, American Against Islamification. So I saw that name and I was like, oh, that's like kind of interesting. I recognize that name. And please understand, I'm just sitting there. I'm chilling. I'm on my couch. I'm hanging out with Piper. I'm hanging out with my wife. And I saw this. Like my Twitter is like blowing up. And I was like, oh, that's a weird name. So then I read this J6 MAGA domestic terrorist Jake Lang. And then I look at it and my mind for the next 30 minutes fucking exploded. Folks, I played soccer with him my entire high school. My entire high school soccer career, I played with this kid and against this kid. It was just how the league was set up. I didn't know a J6. He was in prison for J6, and now he's leading. I knew the kid. I played soccer with him for years and years and years. Like literally, he was just a dude that I played soccer with in middle of butt fuck nowhere. This kid who was in prison for I think years because of J6 and then ran for some political position in Florida, and now he's getting sucker punched in Dearborn, Michigan. Boom! That kid that just got sucker punched, soccer player, literally just grew up in my hometown, and now he's some like Christian anti-Islamification J6 rider dude. And when I knew him, he was, if anything, he was kind of like a New York City metrosexual. Like I grew up in like very rural PA, and if there was one kid who's like, I'm just going to be the big city guy, I'm going to be the entrepreneur, I'm going to do this, that, the other thing, that was him. And just, I guess times changed a lot. I guess prison changes a lot because now he's like a hardcore MAGA Bible dude. But like when I knew him, it was crazy. I was like, no way. Like, I just was shocked by the fact that it was his name. I mean, my one friend dated his cousin. Like, it's a very small area. Like, I'm not just saying I knew him. Like, I literally, like, knew him. And I guess life changes you for sure. And then when I saw the name, I was like, that's crazy. That can't be him. So then I searched his name on Facebook because obviously we're Facebook friends. And then I saw that his mom, for the years he was in prison, I was like, no way was this a J6 political like prisoner type of a thing. I went on to Facebook and I saw his mom was on his Facebook giving updates for years and years and years as he was in like solitary confinement, this, that, the other thing. How fucking wild is that? How insanely small is this world? No person who plays soccer is normal. What a sucker punch. He's also a lot bigger. Like even his face is bigger now. Like he was more of like kind of a lanky, skinny kid. But once again, this isn't high school. So I guess like all of us changed quite a bit. But what happened here? This my mind was blown last night.
Got to keep it down.
In 1900, the world was 30% white. Fast forward 125 years, we are down to 7%. The Islamification of Europe is particularly aimed at the destruction of white people. The Islamification of America is aiming to meet the same goal. Our people, white Christian, European, Western civilization, we build the arts.
It is crazy to see how times change. What was he doing? Violent Muslim protesters attack provocateur Jake Lang as he hits a Quran with bacon. Many Muslims believe it is a capital offense to mock their religion. There have also been countless deadly attacks around the world for this reason. He was hitting a Quran with bacon? Oh, dude. Oh my God, dude. What? And it's the same outfit as when he got, so this was all a day's work. He talked to their, I guess, local city council, got sucker punched, did a march, and was slapping a Quran. That's a full day. That is a fucking full day.
They want to pepper spray our people.
Dude, this is blowing my mind.
They want to pepper spray our people. We'll show them what's up.
I guess prison does change you. Is he gonna burn a Quran?
Muhammad was a pedophile.
Oh wow.
And a rapist.
Oh my God, dude. Oh my Allah, I should say. Sorry.
You can burn it, man. You can burn it. It's America. You can burn it. It's America.
So he didn't actually burn it. Anyway, that's what blew my mind when watching Stranger Things last night. Not that any of you actually asked. Soccer survivor Jake Lang, he was actually pretty good. He wasn't necessarily big enough, but from what I recall about him, he was like pretty fast. He had pretty high agility. He was a better player than I was. But whoa, life has crazy turns, folks. Life has crazy, crazy twists and turns, doesn't it? Oh, all right. Here's a little pullback. The question is, will we be able to take advantage of it with a low risk entry to go long? Folks, this is pretty easy peasy lemon squeezy. You're just watching this downsloping trend line. You have this bull channel right here. You don't want to just arbitrarily pick when to get in, but you are looking for this downsloping channel to break to the upside. I know it's downsloping. It's called a bullish channel just because it commonly does break, because you were bullish into it, consolidation, lower highs, lower lows, and you're just waiting for the breakout. The difficult part of playing this structure is just picking, like, because you don't know, is this one the bottom? Is this one the bottom? Is this the one the bottom? This is personal preference. I'm not telling you this is the perfect MAC, but what I like to do is I like to wait for the break, the first pullback, and then go long into the first pullback after the break. That's how I like to play it, but once again, that's up to you. LOL, this is a trading show? This is a political show. No, it's not trading or political. This is the show where I just share stories from my youth. You guys didn't know that? It's just like, sometimes stories in my youth include people who now slap Qurans with bacon. Other times it's about when my vice principal told me I was never going to get married. It's literally just like the Matt Kohrs youth show. And I think if we really had to dive into it, it's because I didn't get enough attention as a child. So now I feel the urge to share all of them with you. I'm just yearning for that attention I never got. And once in a while, we just degenerately gamble. Matt doing Matt things. LOL sit. It was from the back of it. What? 6 when he married her. Are you talking about Muhammad? This is a political trading show. I think it's more of just me seeing how long I can hold on to my final tether of reality. All right, are we going to bounce off the high from yesterday? That could be a sick buy. Stay tuned. Did he really? She told me. How crazy is that? It was a female vice principal. Yeah, one day she called me in sophomore year, and she basically said, it's a really long story, and I don't want to bore you guys with the details right now, but the end result was she said that I'm never going to get married. The end result, she said, fuck you, loser. She didn't actually say that, but she did actually, like, very legitimately say I'm never going to get married. Should we take shrimps and Torah next phase? I don't know what shrimps and Torah is. Should we take shrimps and Torah? Wait, can Jewish people not eat shrimp? Is that a thing? Someone update me on this. My 23andMe does say I'm 3% Ashkenazi Jew, so my people would like to know more about this. But on it, wait, didn't 23andMe, I don't know. I did the 23andMe test because I thought some percentage of it would say that I'm sub-Saharan African, and I'm not. Like, I think I might be the first person in history that I got the test because I want to be like, yeah, like I'm part black. And it came back to me, and like, I think I got a special email from the CEO, and then they're like, you are the fucking whitest person we have ever seen. I didn't have one errant gene, like nothing at all. And I was bummed out about that. And then I was like, as updates come out, and who knows, the company's now like defunct, and aren't they like selling our data to probably China or something? So it'll probably come back to bite me in the long run. But I did find out I was 3% Ashkenazi Jew. So Shabbat Shalom, motherfuckers. Shabbat Shalom. Ironically, and maybe you don't find it ironic, but even though I found out I was Jewish, I also found out most of my genome is from Germany. Yeah. Can't win them all, folks. I don't necessarily have the genetic history that you're allowed to talk about at parties, you know? Don't necessarily have anything that they want to chit-chat about of where's your family from? But whatever. It's my burden to bear, my cross to carry, not for all of you guys. Kohrs German, no. Well, what's funny is on the other side, on my maternal side, it's bold, B-O-L-D. So it's just, they're both like super German. I am part Polish. You're Polish, knock it off. No, I'm German, Polish, British. It's just like a European mutt, basically, is like what 23andMe said. Basically, hardcore European mutt is where we're at. Matt really lives in the tunnels. Don't know what it means, but I'll take it. I've been called worse. I am interested in the first 5-minute reversal because right here, pump, 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 pull back. I'm waiting for the first one where maybe we have a higher low, and I'm curious if it's going to be coming soon off of the bounce off of yesterday's high. That's kind of what I'm watching. I don't want you guys tuning in thinking Matt's just telling us how he's genetically superior, just like Sydney Sweeney in the Great Jeans ad. No, I'm waiting for something to happen in the market. It's just not happening. We found out my family was 5% African and my 97-year-old Italian grandma was bugging out. Dude, is there anyone more racist in this world than grandparents? Like, you might think on the internet someone like Jake Lang is racist. And I'm not saying he is or he isn't. Honestly, I was just shocked to see his content. I withstand from having an opinion because I don't have much information. But what I do know is that no one can exceed the racism of a grandparent. Something in your brain, as soon as you exceed 60, 65, like your brain's like, fuck it. The world needs to know what I really think. Like, they really need to know what I think right now. And they just say it and they behave it. It's so unabashed. They're just like, fuck it. I don't have much time. World needs to know right now. They need to know my thoughts. That's why Thanksgiving is always so much fun. My grandma loves everybody, but her vocabulary is from the 30s. Once I dated a girl that had an SS grandpa. How'd that work out for you, buddy? Would you meet her down in Argentina or something? That's when the filters come off. Yeah, they just don't give a shit. They're like, fuck it. The table needs to know my opinion. Trump's about to talk? Is that true? Is that true? Do we have this? Can anyone confirm or deny? I just want to know if he's talking about the whole, is he chit-chatting about the whole House panel waste stock ban? Is he talking about the release of the Epstein files? Do we know this? We can figure it out. We can figure it out. White House live. White House. Is he live here? Does anyone have a link? No, that was 14 hours ago. What if we just search Trump? Trump live. Trump. Let's see what happens. Life gets crazy. That was 21 hours ago. Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remarks Saudi 1.2. So this is 1.1K. How about we do White House schedule? What time is it? It's 10:47. All right, so at 11:35, so in an hour, the president departs for White House en route to the U.S. Saudi Investment Forum. The president delivers remarks at the U.S. So he's speaking at noon today. Noon, so not now. At least what I'm seeing. Maybe something's a little different, but at least on his schedule, it looks like he's chit-chatting at noon, so right around lunch. Looks like he's chit-chatting around lunch. We're still dipping. I'm just waiting for some sign of a reversal. Options flow is also dipping. Not giving the full thing back, but definitely like a ball thrown into the air where we peaked at 10.15 and now we're saying whoop. The Mag 7 is still holding strong, which makes me optimistic about a bounce and a continuation higher. I'm still looking. The fact that the Mag 7 is this strong makes me think we just have to wait for the Delta drop here, this put buying to stop. And then maybe we can base and bounce off of it. And maybe we just bounce off of one of these nice key levels. Like I said, we were identifying yesterday's high as a support. So that's kind of what I'm watching. I'm looking for a bounce in this zone. If it doesn't happen, I'd be looking for a bounce around 6,650, right around here. So big pump, flat, couldn't hold this low, cracked the 50 EMA on the 1 minute, bounced up a little bit, and now we're taking a bit of a hit right here. So let's see. Let's see. Does the VIX steady climb back make you think that the chance of a trend to continue is less? No, it's just at that moment in time, the probability of price movement is increasing. Because remember what the VIX is. It's a somewhat complicated math equation on the vol for the theoretically perfect 30-day contract on the SPX. Like that's what it's like kind of pricing in. It commonly does have an inverse correlation with the market, but we saw that pump. Like you just don't know the next bar. Like it's all going to be decided dynamically in real time. We're just waiting. What's my view of CoreWeave in the long term? I have no opinion on CoreWeave in the long term. Just don't know enough about it. I've actively traded it a couple times here. What the fuck is this? Can you give our office a call back? We look forward to speaking with you. Well, why are you calling me? That's rude. We're taking a bit of a dip after a big pump, but the Mag 7 is holding strong. I'm not really buying this dip in price until I see the Mag 7 options also dipping. And obviously the bell of the ball is Nvidia, which is still holding on pretty decently. Just holding on pretty decently. Well, if you can get through the Cloudflare issue, Code Goonie will get you a sick deal on Apex. On funded futures, same thing, Code Goonie. On Take Profit Trader, those are the three I use when I'm actively trading. As you can see, I use Apex, Funded Futures Network, and TPT. The reason I don't have TPT right now is because I blew those out yesterday, as you saw, and I just didn't have the time to buy more this morning. But those are the three that I currently use. I'm not saying that I'm married to them. I'm not saying I'm loyal to them. Just right now, I perceive those three to be the best in terms of cost and in terms of a reasonable rule set that you have a chance to pass. So the three I currently use, and I just want to be clear, it is a dynamic situation, but the three I've liked for the past couple months are Apex Trader Funding, Funding Futures Network, and TPT in no particular order. I just bounce between those three based on whoever has currently the best deal. That's how I have been handling the situation. Are you going into the World Cup games? I don't know yet. I'd like to. I think it'd be really, really fun. I think it'd be a cool experience. Where did you go to high school? Really small town in Northeast PA, and then I went to college at Penn State, and then I was getting my master's degree from Texas A&M, and then I decided that education wasn't for me. I decided education was not for me, and then I entered the world of being a failed OnlyFans influencer, forced to become a market commentator. You know, just a giant fuck up across the board. I figured time to turn in this degree to see if I could take on the world of OnlyFans, and just no one was into it. So now I just have to talk about stocks for some reason. Why do you live in New York? I don't know. Some say it's because it's the financial hub of the entire world, and I, being in the world of finance, should be here. Pretty much that simple. I don't think it's like some big brain discussion. It's just when I go on CNBC, when I go on Yahoo, when I go on Fox, like all of their studios are right here. Someone said BTC is crashing. I haven't even seen BTC, but I have a feeling that you're being dramatic. Wow. It dropped $1,000. Why are people so dramatic? Went from 91 to 92.2 down to 90. It's getting hit. That's not crashing. People are so dramatic about this shit. If you're dramatic, I don't know. I just don't see how being dramatic can assist you in making quality decisions when people are just like, emotions are going to get the best of you. They really are. And to me, that's such an emotional thing of like, it's collapsing. It's completely plummeting. that is like the telltale sign that you're setting yourself up for some sort of emotional decision and not a math-based decision, not a risk-reward decision. It's just emotions. And maybe emotions work for you. And if you happen to make an emotional trade, obviously I hope it worked for you, but I have a feeling it's not going to work in the long term. Matt likes to give away his money on Mandogny. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really felt any impacts of that quite yet, but you never know. If you had asked me, I'm not saying I'm a fan of him because I'm able to understand basic finance, but I think there's going to be too much gridlock. I think it's more of an interesting story of the average New York City voter was so displeased with the current situation. And granted, it's not like Cuomo was a quality candidate. Mandani ran a better campaign. I understand why he got elected. I think he has a very rudimentary understanding of how economies work, at least prospering economies. So I'm not saying that I think he's smart or anything with respect to financials and economies and that type of thing. But I understand why he got elected. He ran a better campaign than Cuomo. And Cuomo was probably one of the worst candidates in the world to put against him. Honestly, there's a good chance Mamdani would have lost to just a random person on the street. Like legitimately. Like if you just picked a random person off the street, I deeply believe they would have had a better chance of beating Mamdani than Andrew Cuomo. He's just that despised. Like just people do not like him. But as I said, I was like, I haven't really felt any effects of my life. I don't think anything's going to change. As I predicted, or what I've been predicting, and I think it's going to come to fruition. I think there's going to be like at first a little flash in the pan announcements of here or there, but even that, like, we're doing free buses. And then the governor of New York, Kathy, is already like, nope, that's not going to happen. It's just like he's making all these promises that it's going to be financially really tough for him to keep any of the promises. He's going to run into too much gridlock. He's made too many, not enemies, but he's created too many high tension situations with the NYPD, with New York firefighters, with all these like key people that he needs to support him to get any of this to pass. And it's just not going to happen. Is New York under Sharia law now? No, that's just another thing that people are getting so hyped up. And like you hear like, oh, everyone's going to leave. Dude, I honestly don't think shit's going to happen. I think just the way the checks and balances work and really just the way financials work, I don't think shit's going to happen at all. I think it's going to be 4 years of a bunch of nothing. And then people are going to be like, hey, we gave it a shot, just didn't work. And the political pendulum's going to come back the other way. I said Shakira law. Well, that might come into effect. I guess what goes up must come down. Jesus, we are bleeding this off. 5 minute is testing, 10 minute might be testing. I'm going to be obviously looking for a bounce. The 30 minute try to really get going bullish, but we're giving quite a bit of it back right now. So I'm hoping that these major levels can hold on ES. Same thing with NQ. Big pop up. We come back. This is going to be our first major test of support. So let's see if this can actually hold or not. I'm hoping that this cloud, I want all the clouds to stay green. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I'm long at 24,901. I think you're early just because we haven't seen the bounce quite yet. Obviously, if we start to bounce right now. Wait, what did you say you were long at? 24,901. Oh, dude, you were way too chasing. You saw no bottoming. There's no bottoming structure on the 5 minute, the 10 minute, or the 30 minute. I very much hope it bounces back in your favor. I'm not rooting against you, but I'm just saying you needed to be a little bit more patient with that entry. Or even if you thought you were being, you should probably be knocked out by now and just wait for the sell-off, because there's no saying there's no guarantee we will bounce, and you're just taking on quite a bit of exposure right now. You're taking on quite a bit of downside exposure because in some universe, this could break the cloud and we could vomit. Obviously, I want it to bounce, and someone started selling the Mag 7 right at 1050. Right there at 1050, they started to crack it. Right there, someone unloaded calls and bought a little bit of puts right here, 10:50 a.m. about 7 minutes ago. Big dump in calls. What was it though? Was it Nvidia? No. Was it AMD? A little bit. Was it Apple? No. Was it Avago? No. Was it coin? No. CoreWeave? No. Hood? No. Microsoft? A little bit. MicroStrategy? Oh, MicroStrategy is getting destroyed. Meta? A little. Netflix? No. Nvidia? No. Oracle? No. Palantir? Kinda. Tesla? Yes. Here's the culprit. 1050, Tesla got clocked. Yeah, that's the major culprit of what just happened in the Mag 7. Tesla calls. That drop right there was Tesla calls getting sold. Pretty much just Tesla. The other ones had a little bit, and they probably just had some bit of a reaction there, but this is mainly Tesla getting goosed right now. Dude, we are giving this all back. Holy shit. Yeah, Tesla's pretty bad. Goog's holding on. Avago's attempting to. Nvidia cracked that low. Hopefully we get a higher low. Tesla's not looking the best. Apple's trying to be fine. Meta gave it all back. AMD. Ugh. What goes up must come down. We're getting some vol. I do want to remind you that this is just some of the craziness. This pump probably had mostly to do with VIX expiration. VIX expires the Wednesday, not the Friday of an OPEX week. So all those VIX contracts, this could just be the unloading and the repositioning of that. Wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of VIX puts were purchased or calls sold, and yet we saw that movement. And now that that move is over, it took about the first hour. We're seeing a bit of a pullback. And I'm saying a bit because we technically haven't cracked the low. Like if we turn right here, that's still technically a higher low on the day. But look how perfect this is. On the 5-minute chart, all green to all red. Pretty much all green to all red. This is just a big switching of positions, a big rolling of positions right now. So I'm looking to see if we could have a higher low. I'm looking for the SPY and the Qs to once again take out their high from yesterday. And then if things start to align, like for example, do we hold bullish? Do we hold bullish? Like no one should be surprised if we bounce right here. The 10-minute loves to react to the 50 EMA, and we're not that far off from the 30-minute at its 50 EMA. So we're in that zone, like 5 minutes testing, 10 minutes not that far away, 30 minutes not that far away. If we're bouncing out of here, no one should be surprised. This is just, it's a decent pullback. People might choose to get in. But even with that, just because we might bounce here, don't predict that. Don't predict that. We will bounce and you should buy right now. Just wait for those signs of bottoming. Whether you're looking at the options flow, whether you're looking at price structure, whether you're looking at momentum, whether you're waiting for a break of a previous high, whether it's on the 3-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute, whatever it is, just wait for that to play out. Another thing you could do is pay attention to initial balance. Do I even have initial balance up? Where's my initial balance? No, that is not it. Where's my initial balance? Oh, there we are. Oh, look at this. I love this trade. This is one of my favorite trades going right now on the initial balance is waiting for the 50% pullback. So right here at 932, that was the initial balance low. At 1017, that was the initial balance high. So some people like to play that rejection and go to the 50. And then other people, once we get to the 50, they play it back in trend. And we literally just hit the 50% retracement. When you start to look at 50% retracements from the move, obviously, here's the move from 932 up to 1017. People love to just wait for a 50% discount and play that. And right there, if you got long at 80, you did take on some heat, about 35 points, but I wouldn't be so surprised if this is just the next higher low and we retake out 800 and pop back up. A lot of people, there's a lot of bots in the world playing that 50% retracement of IB. So just another thing, a little food for thought. Obviously, I didn't play it today and the bots haven't fired in a minute. The bots did crush it though on that way up. Look at all these trades that they just crush. And then I had 2 good manual trades there. And the bots are still on. I'm not turning them off, but from a manual perspective, I don't feel like the biggest need to really do anything right now. I'm just kind of waiting. Interesting to see that we have some buyers here. Obviously, if it fails at the 50% retracement, that could be kind of bearish. It also happens to align with VWAP, so people might be buying it off of VWAP. So when I see VWAP, when I see a 50% retracement, and I see all the EMA clouds, there's a real shot of a bounce right here, like a real shot. Granted, unfortunately, the range is wide. That's like a 30 to 40 point range in here. But That was a nice trend all the way down, locking in some of your profits right here. And then I would just be patient. If it starts to bounce, try to take it with low risk entry. If it breaks down from here, try to take the short with low risk entry. It's all about just having a low risk entry if I really had to summarize. So that's what I'm going to leave you with very quickly, just to remind you. Apex, code Goonie, 80% off, $40 eval upgrade. Funded Futures Network, code Goonie, 50% off. And when you buy one, you can send in your receipt and you could get another one for free. So code Goonie is going to work on both. Pinned to the top of chat, in the description of your video. But basically with any of these major SIMDA funded firms, Tradeify, Take Profit Trader, Apex, Funded Futures Network, Funding Ticks, all of them, code Goonie is going to get you whatever the current best deal is. So I just want to let you guys know that, just in case you're trying to pass a test today. Looks like we have some good ranges. Look like we have some good volatility. So hopefully you could take advantage of it. I do want to remind you at 2 p.m. today, 2 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be getting the FOMC meeting minutes. And then at market close, we're going to be getting Nvidia's earnings. Technically, the results come out at 4:20. And then at 5 p.m., Nvidia is going to have their earnings call. I will be streaming the Nvidia results. So we're going to probably start streaming again today during power hour. So put on your notifications, do whatever you want. No update video coming out today because we're doing another live stream pretty much in power hour to market close. So I will still see you again later today. If at this point in the day, you do not have a Lucky Buffalo shirt, you have basically 4 hours to figure it out, 5 hours to figure it out. Whatever you need to do, quit your job, leave school, leave the country, do whatever you need to. Go get yourself a Lucky Buffalo shirt. We will be streaming this afternoon, so obviously you're all invited. I hope to see you there. Put on your notifications. Don't forget to subscribe, whether Rumble or YouTube. We're going to be streaming to both, and I'll catch you guys in a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to go hang out in the Discord, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.